And we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. Please do me a favor and type one if you can see and hear me clearly. I was having problems with the green screen because the shirt that I had on, I was getting a little bit of like static in the background. So if you can see me and hear me clearly, type one. I see some ones coming in. Okay, that's good to see. So today's the day. We finally have everything put together in a manner that I'm proud to be able to bring this public. For those of you who've been following me, you know that I take pride in the presentation that I bring to you, and I don't want to put my face or my brand or my name behind anything that isn't quality. I would not come to you and ask you for your money if I didn't feel that the product was quality. So, um, right now we are on the website. For those of you who are interested in joining, we have a 7-day free trial to join mytechacademy.io. A link to join will be in the description. Again, it's a 7-day free trial. So you can go through the course and see if you like it. And if you like it, you can stay. We are charging $50 per month after the 7-day trial. And then we have an additional product where we will be charging $1,000 for one time. It'll be a one-time fee. And this will allow you to become basically a founder. And you will lock in that price where you no longer have to pay the $50 per month, and you won't have to pay for any of the premium courses that we will offer, such as learning how to become a developer with the programming language JavaScript and HTML, and also learning how to build and program smart contracts on top of the Ethereum blockchain with Solidity. So don't worry, guys, we're going to cover all of that, what's in the course, what will be coming in the future. But understand that for those of you who you don't have a technical background, right? When I first decided to start this, and give me one second, um, that just comes with the territory when you get trolls like that. But understand that when I first decided to start and create My Tech Academy, um, I wanted to onboard as many non-technical people that I possibly could. When you look at the whole crypto space, this is technical stuff, right? This is hard stuff. This is not easy, and it can become complicated. And that's one of the biggest, I feel, barriers to a lot of people coming into the space and onboarding a lot of people is many people try to make this about how knowledgeable you are in computer science and how complicated it is. And to be quite honest with you, the only way that we're really going to see mass adoption is if we learn how to simplify a lot of these concepts and bring people in. And that's why I created this academy, because I just feel like many of the people who are in this space, while they may know more technical knowledge than me, they don't do a good job of explaining it in layman's terms for the average person. And that's what we will be doing inside of My Tech Academy. And for those of you who sign up, understand that this is some high level stuff, right? Give yourself room to grow and expand. And I promise you, within the next 2 to 3 months, you will have a much deeper understanding as to what's really going on. So let's scroll down. As you can see, we're on the page. Let me copy the link and put it into the chat for you guys. All right, so we can copy this. We paste it, Control V, and I don't know why it's doing that. That's not what I want. So it's just www.mytechacademy.io. Let's make sure that everything's spelled correctly. There we go. So as you can see right down here, we have the silver membership, and it says it comes with a free 7-day trial. You will gain access to all introductory level content. We're going to have weekly 2-hour live streams every week for the next 6 weeks. where we're going to cover each individual course that I release. Um, I decided to start with Bitcoin first, and it's a reason why I chose Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the first, the OG, for a lack of a better word, when it comes to blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies, right? So if you understand Bitcoin, then you will understand Ethereum and any other protocol that comes after that. So to really just be able to get that foundation and understand what Bitcoin is, then it will help you better understand what other cryptocurrencies are trying to become and what they're trying to do. And as I said before, I started with one course because what I've noticed in this space, because guys, I've spent thousands of dollars on different courses. And what I've learned is that you go to some of these guys' websites and they'll have like 60 different courses. They'll have a course on C++. They'll have a course on C Sharp. They'll have a course on JavaScript. There will be a course on EOS. There will be a course on Tezos. There will be a course on Ethereum. And you will get lost because they're not giving it to you in a stair-step fashion that you can actually follow. And that's one of the most important things, is that it's not about how much content is inside of the membership site. It's about the quality of the content and whether or not I can actually follow along with that type of content. So that's what I really want to focus on doing here, is giving you the content in a way where you'll be able to understand it and be able to retain the information. So we're starting with Bitcoin Blockchain 101 Introduction, and this is going to be part 1. Part 2 is going to be released next week, where we're going to get a little bit more technical and get a little bit more into more details. And then we have the lifetime membership, right? This is the $1,000 product, as I was saying to you before. This is going to be a one-time fee of $1,000, and we're only limiting this to 20 students. If we do not get 20 students into the lifetime product, I'm going to refund back the money, right? So let's say 10 of you sign up for the lifetime product. Well, then that's not 20. I'm going to give you all 10 of you back the money. The reason why we're doing it this way is that we have to see if there is actually demand for this product, right? The lifetime product is going to be focusing on people who want to become blockchain developers and work in this industry, or people who want to become entrepreneurs and build things in this industry. The $50 product is going to be enough for most of you. Most of you, you just want to learn how to buy crypto, how to sell crypto, how to store your crypto. That's the $50 per month product. The $1,000 per month product is for people who really want to go to the next level. When you take a step back and you look at technology, most of the people who capture the wealth in tech aren't the investors. I know it sounds sexy and it sounds good that you're going to take, $1,000 and buy Bitcoin at 30 cents and you're going to sell it at $20,000. That sounds good, but the reality is many of you are not going to get that lucky, right? If you look at most of the people who capture wealth in tech, it's people who build things. You have Zuckerberg with Facebook. You have Bezos with Amazon, right? They were able to capture the wealth by building something. When you look here in the crypto space, you have CZ with Binance, the exchange. He was able to build something. You have Arthur Hayes with BitMEX. He built something and captured wealth. Look at someone like Richard Hart with Hex, or Vitalik with Ethereum. People who learn the skills of how to actually build and use the technology or add on to the technology stacks, those are the people who capture wealth. So that this product is going to be geared towards those of you who want to go down that route. So what we're going to do, we'll still have the weekly Q&As, but what we're going to focus on is putting together a portfolio of projects. So teaching you the foundations of how to become a web developer, how to deploy and code and build smart contracts with Solidity, because the programming language Solidity is very similar to JavaScript, right? So if you know how to program in JavaScript, you're going to understand Solidity. And again, we're going to focus on putting together a portfolio of projects. So we're going to build our own blockchain. We're going to build websites. We're going to focus on, just a whole host of different projects. And those projects will go into your portfolio. So for those of you who want to get your hustle on and you want to try to go out here and basically get some resources, build some dApps and different applications, we're going to focus on that with that product. You have to think about it, and I'm going to get to this in a second. The cryptocurrency entire market cap is less than $300 billion. there's so much room for growth and opportunity, and there's so many new opportunities opening up, and so much capital and new resources being poured into this space. Trust me when I tell you, you haven't seen anything yet, and I'm going to get to that in a second as to how this is really a golden opportunity. And I want to be clear here. Most of the information that will be in this academy, guys, I'm transparent, I'm upfront, I'm honest. Most of this information you can find for free on the internet. We live in the information age. If you have a cell phone right here, if you have an iPad, you can access information. I give you guys free information all the time. I show you guys how you can go take MIT courses and OpenCourseWare and learn how to program in Java and C++ and Python. You can go to Harvard EDU. They have OpenCourseWare for free. The problem with free information is that it's scattered, right? It's all over the place. It's not in a fashion where you can actually ask questions. You can be a part of a community. That's what we're focusing on. And for $50 per month, I feel like that's a very, very good deal. But please, by all means, if you feel that this isn't worth your $50 per month, cancel. That's why we have a 7-day free trial. Also, the reason why I didn't put all the courses are already recorded as far as Ethereum, Monero, different privacy coins, and some introductory level programming courses. I want some critical feedback. There are some bugs inside of here. There may be some things that I don't explain properly. So I want those of you to go through part 1 of this course. It should probably take you about a week to 2 weeks to finish the course and really understand what's going on. And then inside of the community tab, and I'm going to show you this in a second, I want you to then post what you feel that I can improve on as an instructor, as a teacher, because this is my first time really creating a product of this level, of this size and scope. And there's going to be things that I can just flat out do better. And please, by all means, if you see any spelling errors on the site, let me know. If you feel that I didn't explain in enough detail in a particular video, let me know. And this is why we have the community tab. So as you can see here, the $50 per month $50 per month membership is going to be enough for most of you. Many of you, after 1 or 2 months of being in the silver membership, you're going to have everything you need to know. And then you can go on and just cancel your membership. Again, I'm not here to try to keep you guys forever. You have to understand that the way that knowledge works is that you start small and then you scale your way up. Because for some of you, you may go through the $50 course and say, you know what? I don't like it. Or this stuff is too technical. It doesn't make any sense to me. And that's okay too. So I feel like this is fairly priced and it makes a lot of sense. So once you sign up, you would come over here and you click on My Library. And as you can see, we have Bitcoin and Blockchain 101. You would click on this. And as you can see right now, we have 19 modules altogether. So there's 19 modules in here that you can go through. Again, there's going to be another 10 modules that's going to be uploaded next week. I'm doing this in a stair-step fashion so that you can retain the information and you can implement the information. So I go into what is Bitcoin, why is Bitcoin important, what is cryptography. We talk about hash functions. We discuss, we have articles about reading about hash functions. We talk about public key cryptography, digital signatures. We read the Bitcoin white paper. We talk about what backs Bitcoin, who maintains the Bitcoin network. Let's go over here. We talk about different wallet types, transactions, mining. Then we read about proof of work mining. We talk about hardware wallets. Right now, we're only talking about the Nano Ledger hardware wallet. There will be additional hardware wallets that we will add into here. The thing is about me is I'm hands-on, right? So I'm not going to recommend something to you that I personally haven't used myself and actually looked at all of the different attack vectors and weaknesses of that particular product. Like as you can see here, I have my ledger. I have multiple ledgers. I've been using Ledger now for well over probably 2 years, 3 years. I have my ledger here. I have multiple ledgers. It's a phenomenal product. And I think that is probably the best hardware wallet on the market. And that's what we focus on. I show you how to buy crypto on Coinbase. I show you how to download the Bitcoin Core wallet, run a full node, how to get your private keys. It's very important when you're using a wallet that you know how to get and store your private keys. I show you how you can buy Bitcoin on your Cash App and how you can send that Bitcoin from your Cash App to your hardware wallet. I walk you through how to set the hardware wallet up. I'm going to have another video. I'm not sure. I think the video may be in here too about how you can like reinitialize your hardware wallet. And then I talk about, some of the conspiracy theories about how people say that Bitcoin was created by the NSA. This is a really good article. So we cover all of that. And then we go back. We have a community tab, right? This right here, this community tab is going to be extremely important. Any complaints, any information that you want to share, any questions that you may have, this is what the community section is going to be used for, where we come in here and we share ideas, we share information, and we go through and we walk through any problems. I'll always be in here updating new articles or things that I might have come across that I feel may be helpful for some of you, or that some of you can actually use. So I think that would be really good for some of you. Give me 1 second. Let me just refresh the chat. It seems like it's going slow. So please use the community section. That's what we're focused on. We're focused on putting together a community of people. As I said before, there's a ton of courses and websites that offer information about cryptocurrencies and different blockchains. The problem, as I said before, is it's scattered. Most of the time, these people are trying to pitch you and sell you something. They're trying to sell you some, scam coin, some Ponzi scheme. They're trying to steal your keys. So I feel like this will be a safe place for many of you to get started and really begin your journey as to growing and developing in this space. Remember, guys, I've been involved in the crypto scene. I would say probably 7.5 to 8 years I've been involved in crypto. I've made a lot of money. I've had money stolen from me. I've been hacked. I lost money in the whole Mt. Gox debacle. I got burned with Butterfly Labs and the ASIC miners. So I really seen a lot in this space. And again, I'm not saying that I'm the most knowledgeable person, but I'm pretty damn knowledgeable. And I have enough experience to tell you what you should watch out for and how you should be going about things. And it looks like my chat stopped. So, guys, type 1 if the chat is still working for you real quick, because it looks like the chat's not working for me. So just type 1 and we'll finish. Okay, so the chat's back up and running. Good. So, again, really easy, really simple, really straightforward as to what we're doing here. Now I want to get to some information as to why we're going to be heavily focused on DeFi and Ethereum. When you look at Bitcoin does one thing and one thing really well. It allows you to be able to exchange value with one another peer-to-peer without any middleman. And it does that very, very well. But when it comes to being able to develop and build on top of the Bitcoin blockchain, the scripting language that they utilize, it's not, the script language is not easy to develop and build things. And that's where Ethereum comes into play. So I want you to think about Bitcoin as being digital gold, right? Like it just does one thing. It stores value and it allows you to basically exchange value with each other. Ethereum is trying to be the entire financial ecosystem. So I want you to think about mortgages on the blockchain. I want you to think about car insurance on the blockchain. I want you to think about the stock market on the blockchain, right? So Bitcoin is just one asset in the entire financial economy, whereas Ethereum is trying to become the financial economy. So that's why I feel like it's going to have, focusing on Solidity and Ethereum and DeFi is going to give you a lot of opportunity as far as becoming a developer or an entrepreneur in this space or working in this space, because there's just so much to do, right? And when you think about the internet, and I want to pull up this picture for you so you can understand where we're going, zoom in, right? many people, what they don't understand is that the web is just an application on top of the TCP/IP layer. And then there's so much wealth that was created on top of that layer, right? Like people think like the internet's just like, the internet. Like, no, the internet's an application that's running on top of a whole host of different protocols. So when you look at TCP/IP, that layer created the internet. And then through that web browser, look how many different applications were created or websites and businesses were created on top of that layer. Look at Amazon, look at Facebook, look at Zoom, look at FaceTime, being able to talk through video chat. All of that was able to happen because of the TCP/IP layer. So that's extremely important that you understand that. And Bitcoin is a protocol. The problem is that it's very hard to develop and build on top of that protocol. And when you look at all of the wealth that was created through the internet, the base layer protocols weren't able to capture that wealth, right? Amazon was able to capture that wealth, and Facebook was able to capture that wealth, and all of these different tech companies were able to capture that wealth. So when we come here, Ethereum is the base layer, and look at all of this development that's happening now. Like, this isn't like some idea that people are just throwing out there. No, this is happening in real time. These dApps and these different blockchains are being created and built on top of the Ethereum blockchain. And we can see Maker, we can see Compound, right? The application layer, we see Uniswap, we see AirSwap, we see Augur, we see Chainlink. All of these different cryptocurrency projects are being built and developed on top of the Ethereum blockchain, utilizing the Solidity programming language and some other different programming languages, mainly Solidity. So I really wanted to focus on that because that's why it's important when you understand the amount of, just development that's happening and so much of the resources that's pouring in. And when you come here, I really think that this is a really good article that some of you guys should go and read for those of you who want to get involved. Because, I keep hearing people talk about the stock market, the stock market, the stock market. The crypto market's less than $300 billion. The stock market's almost a $90 trillion market. Most of the wealth is already captured there, right? So when we come here, let's zoom in so you guys can see it. Silver, right? It says how this visualization works. Each square this size is worth $100 billion. So look at this. The silver market is $100 billion market. All of the above ground silver. It's tiny, small. Look at crypto, right? The total value of all cryptocurrency is now 244 billion. Bitcoin accounts for 2/3 of that amount. So I just want you to think about that for a second. Look how small the crypto market is. So you can start seeing where, remember, markets move like a pendulum. Assets go from undervalued to overvalued and from overvalued to undervalued. Well, what do you think right now is tremendously undervalued? This is disruptive technology. The same way Tesla is disruptive to the car industry, the same way social media was disruptive to legacy media companies. Crypto is going to be extremely disruptive to a lot of legacy financial institutions and companies. That's why DeFi is so important. Look at military spending, right? The U.S. budget deficit's $3.8 trillion. Coins and banknotes, $6.6 trillion. The Fed's balance sheet is $7 trillion, right? Billionaires, right? The world's 2,095 billionaires are worth about $8 trillion. Below are the five richest, which collectively hold less than 5% of billionaire assets. So just think about it. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Arnault are worth more than the entire cryptocurrency space, right? If you take the entire crypto market cap, 3 men are worth more than the entire crypto market cap. So I just want you to think about like the opportunity, just so you can see what I'm talking about, right? Like right here it says the total market cap is $270 billion for all of the cryptocurrencies combined. 3 men are worth more than the entire cryptocurrency market cap almost. Just 3 men. So that should tell you the opportunity that's at hand here. It's enormous, the opportunity that you have. Look at the world's gold market. It's $10.9 trillion, right? The Fortune 500, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Facebook. Each one of these black squares represents $100 billion. Look at the stock market, right? Stock market's total value is $89.5 trillion. And the crypto space is going to disrupt that, is going to capture some of that wealth. So now you have to start asking yourself some really important questions. What happens when the entire crypto market cap is $1 trillion, $2 trillion, $3 trillion? What is the price of Bitcoin going to be? What is the price of Ethereum, Maker, Augur, Ripple? What is going to be the price of these assets when the money starts flowing in, right? We already know that there's billionaires getting involved in the space. We have Paul Tudor Jones coming into the space. We're seeing Reddit starting to develop on top of the Ethereum blockchain. Microsoft is coming into the space. So we see the capital is coming and the people, they're coming as well. So why not get involved now? So yes, the market will be volatile. Yes, a lot of people are going to be shaken out, but there's a ton of opportunity that's here. And if you can hodl, hold on to your coins, you will get rewarded. As I said before, I've watched Bitcoin go to $100 and come crash back down to $10. I watched it go to 1,000 and crash back down to 100. I watched it go to 20K and come back down to 3K. It happens. But at the end of the day, those who stick around and understand the technology and understand what's happening here, those are the people who will get rewarded, for those who understand where we're going with this. Look at the money supply. The money supply is $35.2 trillion. So when you start thinking about the opportunity and you see crypto, how tiny this market is, you begin to understand that there's a ton of opportunities. Now, why I'm focused on Ethereum and not Tezos or Ripple, even though I own a lot of Tezos just from an investment standpoint, is because in the next bull cycle, you're not going to see Dentacoin, and Steam and all of these other blockchains and cryptocurrencies rally and take off in 10x and 20x. People are going to really focus on the cream of the crop, the premium projects. And when you come here to the Ethereum GitHub, and don't worry if you don't know what a GitHub is, we cover all of those different things in the course. Look at this. You have 11,000 people working on this project. 11,000 people working on the project. You can't say that for a lot of other different cryptocurrencies. So there's a lot of intellectual capital being deployed on the Ethereum blockchain, and there's a lot of financial capital being deployed. This is why we're going to be focusing on JavaScript and Solidity, because again, we're focused on where is the money flowing? Where is the wealth transfers happening at, right? That's very important. When you come over here and you look at the EIPs, look at the commits. You got 2,000 commits. These are people who are committing to working on the project, right? When it talks about Solidity, you have 16,976 people. Again, people focusing on working on the project. That's what I want to see when I'm thinking about putting my time, effort, and money and energy into something, is where people are focusing and putting their intellectual capital and putting their financial capital. And when you come over here to DeFi Pulse, right now, if you look at the top 10 DeFi projects, right, it says the total value locked in. There's almost $1 billion locked into DeFi. Think about how small that is, right? Decentralized finance. These are different, like Maker's in lending. You have synthetics, that's derivatives. You have Compound. You have Aave, WBTC, right? These are different assets, different projects. Literally, like, this is tiny. This is small. This is not a lot. This is not a lot of money. But what do you think this is going to be in 5 years? What do you think this is going to be in 10 years? Right? You're looking at a growing industry, a baby industry. Like, this is not think about it. Bitcoin launched January 3rd? January 3rd, 2009 was when the first Genesis block was mined. So we're talking about less than, 12 years, 11 years we're talking about. Like, that's a baby. That's not an industry that's developed. When we're talking about like the stock market, for example, like, we're talking about an asset class that existed for well over 100 years. So when you start looking at the potential here, you can see like there's a lot of room for growth and opportunity. And You hear a lot of people talk about the stock market, right? And I want to show you something because everyone's talking about, oh, well, look at American Airlines, look at Boeing, and look at Hertz and and Nikolai, all these different stocks that are going up 100%. 100% happens in a day in crypto. Let me show you. Let's look at Chainlink. Let's go 3 months ago, right? Chainlink was trading at $1.97 on March 17th, right? Chainlink right now is trading at $4.56. So the same type of gains that you can get in the stock market, you can get those in some in the crypto market, because the stock market, we know, is being heavily pumped and manipulated by the Fed. And these assets are already very mature. They're what, 20 billion, 30 billion, 40 billion dollar market caps. Like, these assets are tiny. Like, the market cap of Chainlink is 1.43 billion. That's tiny. I mean, you look at this. What is the stock called? I believe it's called Nikolai, or it's like a new car company. They have $0 in revenue and they have a $20 billion market cap. Yet Chainlink is only worth $1 billion. So what do you think the price of Chainlink is going to be when they reach a $20 billion valuation, which is going to happen? So I just want to show you some of these DeFi projects that they have so much room to run. Let's look at Maker. Maker was trading at, back in March, Maker was trading at what, $483, went all the way up to $700. What's another one? What's another DeFi project? Let's look at Zilliqa. Zilliqa was trading at less than a penny, 2 cents. Zilliqa was trading at 2 cents, went all the way up to almost 3. These gains are insane. Like, these are like insane gains that you're seeing in the crypto space. Like, there's just so much opportunity that you can capture. Let's look at Augur. Let's go 3 months ago. It was trading at $7.70. Got a high of $16. So the same gains that you can get in the stock market, you can get the same gains in crypto. And again, these are assets where their market caps are less than, some of these assets are less than $100 million market caps. Whereas, like I said, in the stock market, you have valuations with some of these companies, their market caps are 20 billion and 10 billion and 50 billion. I believe Apple's at $1 trillion market cap. Like, you have so much room for growth when you begin to start looking at this space. So that's why I'm going to put so much of my focus into Ethereum, because, as I said before, when you think about the internet and you go back, Ethereum is going to be the base layer protocol. And then there are going to be so many new dApps and businesses and blockchains that will be built on top, and stable coins that will be built on top of Ethereum. And you can see this stack right here. This is the entire DeFi stack. When you think about DeFi, think about Lego blocks. Right? If you ever play with Legos as a kid, just think about it. Ethereum is the base Lego. And then you're stacking all of these different protocols and blockchains and stable coins and dApps and tokens on top of the Ethereum stack. And the difference between TCP IP layer with the internet is that those protocols weren't able to capture any of the value. Every time you add a layer on top of Ethereum, that makes Ethereum even more valuable, because you have to, especially with ETH 2.0, you're going to have to stake it, right? And lock it up into these different DeFi projects. So again, it's just so much wealth and opportunity to be there. So again, if you find that, if you see the value in that, then you'll understand where this is going. And again, as I said before, I structured the academy in a way where every 2 to 3 weeks we will be adding new content and new courses. So it's not going to overwhelm you, because cryptography is not something that's easy to learn. I mean, even me, I learn new things every day. There's over 5,000 different cryptocurrencies today. I want you to think about that. There's over 5,000 different cryptocurrencies. There's no way that one man is going to be able to know everything that's happening in crypto and how every blockchain works. I understand the basics. I understand public key cryptography. I understand ECC. I understand basic programming languages like JavaScript. I've been playing around with Solidity now for a few months. So again, like I said before, I feel that I can bring value to you by explaining some complex things in a simple fashion where you'll be able to understand it, being able to put it together. And for $50 a month, you can't beat that. And like I said before, for those of you who are more ambitious, you will gravitate towards that $1,000 product. It will be a one-time fee. In the future, the advanced cryptography courses, the Solidity courses, the programming and the developing courses, those are going to be separate courses. But we will have some introductory level programming courses as well for those of you who just want to get started. And as I said before, a lot of this information you can find for free. And I just want you to know that. The problem is that with free, it's going to take you a hell of a lot, much longer to learn, because you're doing it on your own and you're jumping from blog to blog, from YouTube video to YouTube video. We're going to create one set community for you to be able to go in there and do what you have to do. So, and again, as I said before, it's a 7-day trial. Now, we covered that, right? I believe that I covered everything that I wanted to tell you about the course. Now let's talk about why it took me so long, right? What was taking me so long to put together this course? And this is for a lot of you who want to become entrepreneurs. It is extremely hard. There's only 24 hours in a day, right? So I have to sleep 8 hours a day. I have to, right? Just to be able to function, you need at least 8 hours of sleep. Some people can do it off of 6. So that's a third of the day that's gone right there. Then you have to eat, you have to shower, you have to take care of your body, you have to research things. So that's another, depending on, how you work. I have to run my other businesses that I have. So that takes up a majority of my time. So I like to use my money to delegate, right? And rather than me having to build the website, I'll pay someone to build the website. Rather than me having to focus on the marketing and the ad copy, I'll pay someone to do that. The problem is that sometimes, especially in an industry like this, like crypto that's new, a lot of people don't really understand this. And what I kept running into is that the things and the services that I was getting, I just wasn't happy with the outcome. And I'm not trying to put anyone down or anything, but I didn't like the product that the finished product that I had. So I worked with 3 different developers to build the website, and I just didn't like what they were giving me, to be quite honest with you. And I felt like they were basically just taking the overview I was giving them and just putting it on a web page. And I'm saying to myself, if you're just going to take my words, then I might as well just build the site myself. So then I start playing with WordPress. And again, I want to give you guys some game right now. It sounds good that you can just download WordPress, download some plugins, and start building a website. You get Divi theme, you get WooCommerce, what other plugin I purchased? A LearnDash. You just put your content in there and you start building a website. It sounds good. The problem with those plugins is, number one, many of the tutorials that you come across on YouTube are people just trying to sell you products, right? And they're trying to sell you cart flows and this plugin and that plugin. And then when you start using those plugins together, what you quickly learn is that it starts creating loops because the code bases, the style sheets don't work properly together. The website starts crashing. It wasn't a good experience. So now think about this. I'm paying developers to develop a product for me. I don't like the finished product. So I was able to get some of my money back, but I still had to pay them for half of the product that they created. So I lost money right there. 3 times, mind you. I went on Upwork. I did Fiverr. All of those places suck. Then I go to WordPress, right? So I purchased LearnDash. I purchased Divi theme. I purchased a WooCommerce membership, like for members. And then I purchased MemberPress. Now, here's the funny thing. MemberPress and a WooCommerce membership, they basically do the same thing. Then I purchased cart flows. Then I get Elementor Pro. So I'm spending all of this money on these different plugins, and then I'm playing with them, and then I'm having to go back into the back office, the administrator tab of WordPress, and then code the style sheet. Now, for all of that, if I got to go into the CSS and start programming, I might as well just build the goddamn website myself. So that's what took me so long. Like these developers, many of these people, they don't live in the United States. Number one, what they do is a lot of these people will pretend to be developers or programmers or whatever, and this what I was running into with Upwork, and they're really just outsourcing to someone in India somewhere, and that's the problem. Like, so I couldn't really get on the phone with people, and then I had one brother working with me, Darren. Darren was working with me. I guess me and him must have had like a miscommunication or whatever the case may be, but he did deliver. I didn't like the end product. So not saying anything bad about him, not saying that he's a scammer or anything like that. I just didn't like the end product. So I went through all of these different products and services and different things, and I ended up having to basically build the damn site myself with Kajabi. So this right now is going to be a temporary site for right now. We're going to use this probably for like the next 3 to 6 months, and then I'm going to just basically code and build my own website, because one of the problems you run into is making sure that the consumer, you have a good experience. Because if I sell you something, but the checkout page doesn't work properly, or you don't get an email that gives you a confirmation that you made a purchase, or if the website's running slow, like all of these are problems that I kept running into with WordPress. So I was just like, I can't do this. And then I was using Namecheap, which you get what you pay for. I was having so many problems with the DNS, with forwarding the domains, with going into the SQL database, with then installing WordPress. Then I had to go over to what was the other place called? Site Hosted, I believe. And then I paid them like $90 for the month for hosting, but Namecheap would not let me. I have to stay with Namecheap for 30 days of purchasing the domain name, or I believe 60 days, something like that, before I can transfer it over to another hosting service. Then I had to point the name servers over there. Like literally, every day I was running into so many different problems. And the problem with Namecheap is there's no customer service that you can actually call. So if you're having technical problems, you either have to Google or you have to go on YouTube. And then you run into all these people trying to sell you stuff. And then if you go to the developers on Upwork and these different places, again, you can't get anyone on the phone. Like, I'm going to pay you. I'm going to spend the money. I want to be able to explain to you and articulate to you what problem I'm having. So it was, like I said before, it was a nightmare. So I ended up, like I said, having to settle with Kajabi. And honestly, Kajabi was I had a membership with Kajabi for months. I just never used it. And it ended up being the best way to go. So like literally, for those of you who want to start businesses and stuff like that, it's hard to find good help. And when you find good help, pay them, right? Right. Pay people. Don't try to nickel and dime people. If you find a person that's competent and they know what they're doing, pay them. Because one of my biggest problems that holds me back as an entrepreneur is I have to do everything on my own or through trial and error. Like, to find a good accountant, guess what I have to do? I have to go through 2 or 3 bad accountants to find a good accountant. An attorney, right? Guess what I have to do? I have to go through 2 or 3 bad attorneys to get to a good attorney. Developers, right? I have to go through 2 or 3 bad developers, or developers who I just didn't like their finished product, to then get to where I have to go, right? And like, you keep going through this trial and error. So when you find good people, when you find a good attorney, when you find a good accountant, pay them what they're asking for, because good help is hard to find. Competent help is, and some people they don't mesh well, right? So if you find a person that you have a good relationship with, pay them, man. Don't nickel and dime them, because I do everything basically on my own, or through trial and error. And having a team is important. And if you can find a good team of people that are competent, that know what they're doing, and y'all work well together, by all means, trust me when I tell you, man, pay those people. So that's what was taking me so long to, get everything together, right? Like, it was literally like, because again, like I said before, I have pride. You'll never see me try to sell you something. Um, I'm not putting my face on something that's a scam, right? I'm not here to scam people. And if I'm going to put my face, my name behind something, you best believe it's going to be quality, because I have pride, and I want to take pride in what I give to people. So that's what was holding me up. Like you can see, I have a green screen. I had to learn how to set the green screen up, and then with the whole pandemic thing, Amazon takes 3 weeks to send you the lighting. I had to buy new lighting to light the green screen. So all of this stuff is in the course though, because it creates a better quality experience for those of you, a much more interactive experience. Like rather than me talking and speaking behind a blank screen, you can actually see me. So I see, like I said before, I have a different level of appreciation for content creators, for people who create products, quality products, not no scam stuff like that, but people who put together quality things that are visually appealing, and the customer experience is really good. Man, it's worth it. So that basically covers everything that I wanted to speak about with the course. Now let's take some questions, and I see some donations came in. I appreciate the donations. Thank you so much, Makeda's Wrath. Thank you, Ray's Realm, for the donation. I appreciate it. So let's see now what questions some of you guys have. Let's check the chat. That makes sense. I see why studies and testimonials are important. 100%, man. It wasn't hard to find developers in the States. Good developers, they were trying to charge me like $5,000 to build a basic membership site, right? And you have to think about it. I'm already losing money with my YouTube channel, with all of the equipment and stuff that I have. So I don't mind investing in my product, my business, right? Because this is a business. But I want to make sure that I'm spending a reasonable amount of money, right? So I don't want to put $5,000 into something, just the developer, and then put another, $2-3 grand into equipment, and let's say only 10 people sign up, right? So I was finding developers, but they just wanted too much money for what I was looking for. Like I was just looking for a basic membership site that works. But the problem, like I said, it was WordPress. Like WordPress is not good for what I was trying to do. Again, like I said before, I'm not trying to put anyone down. I'm not saying that anyone's a scammer or a product's a scammer. It's just, for me, WordPress wasn't a good solution at all. I was having, and some of those plugins I can get my money back, which is a good thing. So I'm happy about that. Take a sip of water, see any more questions coming in. Thanks for the donation, Humble Kurt. When I first started YouTube, right, this was sort of like just a journal for me. I was speaking about, excuse me, I was talking about like movies, Captain Marvel. I was speaking about Nature Boy, Hassan Campbell, like just anything I wanted to speak about. I didn't really have any direction. I didn't really get a direction for my YouTube channel to probably about like 4 or 5 months into it, and then I changed it a few times. But the best thing I would say to you when you first start YouTube is to start slow. I know a lot of people want to tell you that, you need to start fast. No, you need to start slow, because you're going to go through a lot of different iterations of what niches you want to talk about, what industries, and like where you really want to go, and your message may change. So start slow. Don't be a person who like think you have to have the best camera and the fastest computer, and you need to have a green screen, and you need to have an expensive mic and expensive light. You don't need all that. When you first start, some people start with just their cell phone. Like, you'll be surprised to know that your cell phone actually is probably better than most DSLR cameras. So I would definitely tell you that that's the best path to go, is to work with what you have and then slowly grow and expand, right? And don't overdo it. Make sure your presentation is good, but you can do a lot with less. Like, your cell phone is probably better than any camera that you're going to probably buy. less than $1,000, right? So use your smartphone for your camera. If you already have a laptop, use that or get a webcam. Like you can get like I have the type of green screen that you can like pull up and down because it's easy just to manage. But you can get a green screen for like $54 and tape it on your wall and be able to have a background like I have. Like you don't have to go overboard. I would say like for your first YouTube setup, you probably shouldn't spend more than $1,500. Like you can literally get a picture, put it behind your wall, or you can get a green screen. I would recommend getting a green screen and just put yourself in a video like this, depending on what niche you're in. Like if you're in like a vlog or a fashion vlog, and that's different. You may need to spend more money. But like if you're into like news or financials, like talking about finance and stuff like that, man, get a green screen, put yourself right there, and that's good to go. Someone asked about 0x. Let's look at the market cap of 0x right now and see where 0x is at. I haven't checked it in a while. I'm not really. I'm banking on 0x getting listed on Coinbase. To be quite honest with you, that's what I was banking on. But they're having some problems with some lawsuits and things that are coming down the pipeline. I personally plan on holding 0x to about a $2 billion to $4 billion market cap. So I look at things more on a market cap basis, right? So I'm looking at 0x for more of a $2 to $4 billion market cap, and I'll look to start dumping my 0x, getting out of the position. But to be quite honest with you, this is fluid when it comes like with 0x because, as I said before, they're having some legal problems with 0x, and I was banking on them getting listed on Coinbase, and none of those things are happening right now. So I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now, to be quite honest with you, with or even the development of the project. It's the same thing with Cardano. I don't like what I'm seeing with Cardano. You have Ethereum, and like every day I turn around, there's a new project being launched on Ethereum. There's so much development happening on Ethereum, and I look at Cardano and like you don't really hear anything, and there's so many different delays, and every time Charles comes out and speaks, it's we have this, we have that, but I just don't see the development. So I like to put my money I like to follow the money, and I like to put my money where others are putting their money. So I'm really just focused on Ethereum right now, to be quite honest with you. But I like 0x. I have a lot of money invested in the project. I have a lot of money invested in Tezos as well, which is separate. But that's what I would be looking to get out of it, at about like a $2 billion to $4 billion market cap. But it's fluent with these. Like these are not projects that I believe in, honestly, as far as like really being able to take over. I like Kyber Networks. I don't have any money in Kyber yet, but I'm looking at Kyber, and I definitely like what I'm seeing with Kyber. I like Zilliqa as well. I don't have any money. I don't have a position in it yet. I have a position in Augur, and I'm doing really well in my position in Augur. So I hope that answers your question. You will be able to take the course at your own pace. Octane 1020. Let's pull up the course so you can see what I'm talking about. Like literally, if you come here, you want to pull up your courses, you'll go to my library. And you can see like you take the course. It's right here, 0 out of 19 lessons completed, and you just go through it. It should take you about a week. If you're new, and this course is geared for people who are new. Like if you have experience in the crypto space, this course isn't for you, right? Like it's just not. This course, Coinbase is trash, and I'll get to that in a second. Black Rogue, I'm glad you said that. But this course is designed for people who are new. Like I said, if you're new, and like I said, we're starting with Bitcoin because if you understand Bitcoin, you will understand what a blockchain is, right? A blockchain is just a database of transactions, and they're linked together with hashes. I'll cover that in a second. I'll cover that in the course. So if you understand that basic concept, then you can understand Ethereum and all of the different projects. You'll be able, if you understand digital signatures, then you'll understand ring signatures, right? Like you'll be able to understand how Monero works by understanding how Bitcoin works. If you understand how Bitcoin works, you'll understand how Ethereum works. So that's where we're going from there. If you understand why Bitcoin can't scale, then you'll understand why Ethereum may be able to scale, or why Ethereum was created, right? If you understand that the scripting language that Bitcoin utilizes makes it very hard because it's not Turing complete. Ethereum is a Turing complete programming languages where you can do some advanced things. You can do loops and you can do if-then statements. You can't do that with the scripting language that Bitcoin utilizes. So if you understand those problems that Bitcoin has, then you'll understand why Ethereum will maybe become powerful one day, right? But then understand that this is experimental technology, and Ethereum has some really, really broad and lofty goals. And the more complexity you add into these blockchains, the more attack vectors and places weaknesses you bring into your project, because now with code, there's bugs. And there are bugs. And if you have all of these different, people building and developing things, this is why you always see bugs and stuff happening. Whereas with Bitcoin, you don't really see those type of problems happening, except for what's happening with the nodes, but that's a separate thing. Coinbase is trash. Any exchange that makes you KYC is dangerous, because if they get hacked, a hacker has all of your information. A hacker knows where you live. So think about it, right? If you have a sizable amount of Bitcoin and the exchange that you're using gets hacked, well, now these hackers have information about you. They know you own crypto. They may know how much you own. They know your address. They know your email address. That's a lot of information, right? So if you're a hacker and you know someone's email address for their Coinbase account, well, now you can start a phishing scheme and start going after them because you know they have crypto. If you know their address and you think that they're a wealthy person, well, now you know where they live. You can go to their home and potentially try to break in, steal it, or assault them, rob them, hold them hostage. So KYC is very, very dangerous from that aspect, because we see these exchanges get hacked all the time as far as like with information and stuff like that. So I'm not a fan of KYC at all. And in the next set of videos, we're going to talk about decentralized exchanges such as BISC that you can use to buy other altcoins, and you don't have to really give up that much of your information. Let's see what other questions we have here. No, 0x isn't listed on Coinbase. I was banking on them to get listed on Coinbase, Joe Ryan. Like same thing with Cardano. Like when I was piling into Cardano, there was a lot of hype behind them with the mainnet and with that and all that. But then it's like nothing happened. Like there's not enough development happening, and I was banking on them getting listed on Coinbase, because if they got listed on Coinbase, I felt that would help more people come into the space. And it looks like, I went out. Okay, we good. So that's, the Coinbase pump, you have to think about it. Like using this device, Joe, this is not easy, right? For us, for those of us who have a technical background, this is like using a USB. This is nothing. But for the average person to trust $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 on this little device, the average person just doesn't have the technical abilities nor the trust in some little device like this to put, hundreds of thousands of dollars on a device like that. So most people are going to use an exchange, for better or for worse. Like no matter what you think about it, the average person is okay with buying their crypto and leaving it on an exchange. And, this is why exchanges get hacked all the time, because hackers know that people are lazy and they'd rather just leave their crypto sitting on an exchange, because a lot of people, they're not used to being their own bank, right? They're not used to storing their own cryptocurrencies and storing their seeds and password and seed management and private key management. The average person doesn't want to do that. And if you lose your private key, or you lose all your funds, the average person is not okay with that. So that's why they go with trusted third parties like Coinbase. So I may think that Coinbase is trash or whatever, but the average person, that's what they want. So now you got to think about it. The average person wants to get into altcoins, right? So it's easier if the altcoin is listed on Coinbase, because now they KYC, they put their address, they upload their ID, and they just buy it and let it sit there. It's not easy to say you're going to have to buy Ethereum on Coinbase and then transfer it over to Binance or some other third party, some other exchange. And then, after you convert your Ethereum into, let's say, Tron, then you have to then take your Tron and then send it to your hardware wallet. Like that's not, for the average person, they don't want to have to do all that. So that's why I'm banking on these cryptos getting listed on an exchange like Coinbase. I don't see 0x on there, so maybe I'm missing something. But you know what? Let's see. Because I've been very, very busy. I don't believe 0x is listed on Coinbase at all. At all. So you must just be trolling. Oh no, you're right. Holy shit. No, you're not. It's not here. I gotta look into that. I'm glad you said that. I definitely gotta look into that. Thank you for telling me. Woo. Thanks. I did not know that. I haven't used Coinbase in a while, so thank you for telling me that. Wow. There we go. Glad you told me that. That's even more of a thing. That's even more that I did not know that. That is whoa. Let's go back here again. I'm glad you said that. I've been so busy with this. Do. So I stand corrected. Thank you for correcting me, Joe and Courtney. I appreciate that 100%. So, oh, these lights are hot. Give me 1 second, guys. Oof. Boom, 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 boom. These lights from the for the green screen, they're hot as hell. He said Joe Ryan McCog says, I need to get my stuff off Coinbase. I did it for simplicity, but need to educate myself on decentralized exchanges. See, that's another thing too. Like, for example, like let's pull up BISC. I'll show you a decentralized exchange. It's boom, 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 boom. I did not know 0x was on Coinbase. So this is a way, and I'll get to you in 1 second, Raise Realm. Just give me a second. Paste. And there's one more. I have so many different things. I have a list of them. Give me 1 second. Go into my show you some. There's a lot of different dexes that are popping up. Where's the other one? I spoke about the last time I was on it. I have so many different things on my mind right now. What I'll do is that the other one that I've used, I will post it inside of the community tab. But BISC is really good to utilize. I forgot what was the other one that I was using. Oh, I can't think of it off the top of my head. You say Coinbase is trash. Why would Damien Diamond show interest in it? He also wants to delve into Gemini. What's the ulterior motive? Well, think about it. Like, if you're going to disrupt finance, right? That basically is saying that you're taking money from potential money that could be going into the stock market is going into crypto. So, like, if I'm an investor or I'm a bank and I see that all of this activity and interest is happening over here, then guess what I'm going to do? I want a piece of that, right? Like, think about it. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, they make money off of fees. So if they can get a piece of this new growing industry, then why not, right? If it's $300 billion and we think that crypto is going to be 2 trillion, 5 trillion, or $10 trillion, then that's what we want to do. Like, if I'm a businessman, I want a piece of that, right? Like, JP Morgan is saying, hey, you're not going to leave us out. And like, you have to think about that. Like, I want a piece of that. And that's what the banks are doing. They're getting a piece of that where you're not going to leave them behind. Like, if this is going to be the finance industry 2.0, well, the banks are going to make sure that they're involved. That's just the reality. That's how it goes. And when you think about a lot of the like the rhetoric around, like, overthrowing the banks or getting rid of the banking industry, it's like, it sounds good in theory, but the reality is I don't believe that that's going to happen. I would like for it to happen. I think that the banks are criminal. I think that the banking industry is they're parasites and they just feed off people. But I don't believe that you're going to get rid of banks. Like, when you look at the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Wahlbergs, like, they didn't become powerful and last this long because they're idiots. Like, they're going to get a piece of this and they're going to get into this some way. This is a wealth transfer, though, right? There's going to be a lot of wealth that's going to change hands. So that's why I try to tell people, when I first got involved into this, I really had that whole libertarian mindset about getting rid of the banks and all that. But the reality is that most people are lazy and they like the convenience of being able to contact their bank if they have a problem. Most people don't really want that whole decentralized aspect of what crypto brings. And that's just people, that's consumer behavior. But we don't need all of those people to capture the wealth and to grow this into a multi-trillion-dollar industry, right? Less than 1% of the world owns crypto. So if we can get 10% of the world population, think about the 1.8 billion people who aren't banked. Like, if we can just get some of those people into the ecosystem, then that's good enough for us to capture some wealth. And the Jamie Dimons of the world, they see that and they're saying to themselves, like, well, hey, if there's going to be a wealth transfer, we want to make sure that we're going to be there, and the banks are going to be involved in this. Now, to what degree, how much, who knows? What else we have here? But guys, really seriously, that's important that you told me about 0x. I never knew that 0x was on Coinbase. I never knew that. That's even worse for the investment. Like I said, I don't have a lot of money into 0x, but I do have money there. We are talking about Coinbase exchange rates being too high. Boom, 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 boom. I think I used Coinbase like 2 months ago. I put up a screenshot like 3 months ago. I use Coinbase sometimes for convenience, like if I'm buying stuff for other people. But like I said before, I've really mainly been focusing recently on Ethereum because I'm liking what I'm seeing when it comes to the whole DeFi space. So that's where I've been putting most of my focus at. Get a hardware wallet if it's BTC and hold. Isn't it funny that they all trashed crypto last year? Yeah, but that's part of the game. The game is to talk. Remember, assets go from undervalued to overvalued. So I don't want to tell you what I'm doing. See, the market is weird. And this has happened. This happened to me when I first started trading. Right now, there's 40 million people unemployed. 40 million people unemployed. We've been under quarantine for 4 months. So that means businesses are shut down. They're not making any money. I'm talking about even Fortune 500 companies. So we know earnings are going to be horrible. Horrible. Yet the NASDAQ, I believe, just hit all-time highs, and the S&P is almost near its all-time high. Right? So the markets are counterintuitive, right? Like they do the opposite. They're contrarian by nature. Like they do the opposite of what should happen. The stock market should be crashing right now. Even with all of the Fed stimulus, even with the $6 trillion and the $4 trillion and the guarantee, the stock market should be crashing. But instead, the stock market is rallying and almost hitting all-time highs. And these companies, we know earnings are going to contract. Yet, look at Hertz. They filed bankruptcy and the stock is pumping. So why am I saying this? Like, when you think about the way markets operate, like, always do the opposite of what they're saying. If JP Morgan is saying that they don't like Bitcoin and they don't like crypto and it's a scam, buy more. If Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger calls it rat poison, I want to buy more. I want to keep buying more. And I'm going to keep buying more because I know that they're saying that to get you to dump your crypto, to panic sell so that they can buy it up and they can basically control voting rights and control blockchains like Justin Sun did with Tron. Not Tron, with Steem It. How he came and brought the Steem blockchain. He basically brought up the blockchain so that he can bully the chain. And you're seeing a lot of these believe me when I tell you, these investment banks are in crypto. They're in crypto. These hedge funds are in crypto. Right? I like what Taylor said. I guess that brings an end to the efficient market hypothesis. That's garbage. Those are Wall Street talking points, you know? Like, so much about personal finance is about, like, hype, talking points, mantras. We know that these things aren't true. We know that. We know the stock market is rehypothecated. We know that the stock market is heavily leveraged. We know that many of these companies, they're not valuable. Without the Fed, without the repo market, we know many of these companies wouldn't be able to survive without the junk bond market. Like, so we know this whole idea of efficient market hypothesis. We know that's garbage. We know that. Like I said before, I believe the company's called Nikolai or Nikola. The company has a $20 billion market cap, around $20 billion, and has $0 in revenue. How does that happen? So, when you see people, crypto's a scam, buy more. Like I said, I've been in the crypto space, the crypto game for almost 8 years. I've never seen so much innovation happening like we're seeing right now. There's so many new projects. It's hard to keep up. I promise you, like, for example, let's go to Twitter, right? Let's go to my Twitter. I follow some of these guys in the Ethereum space. Like, when you come over here, like, these people who have like ETH behind their name, let's find the page I'm talking about. Like, let's see where it's at. Vitalik. Where's right here? This name right here. All these new projects just popping up all over and over again. There's so many different projects popping up. Everywhere you look, there's just new developments, like new technologies. It's amazing the amount of just development that you see. Like, every hour, every 2 hours, he's tweeting a new project or a new token. Literally, like, it's exciting. Like, I've never seen so much development happening. Like, if you go back to 2017, it was all about hype, right? It was all about, this new ICO, right? That was the new flavor of the week, right? The ICO. But I mean, a lot of these cryptos, they didn't even have a working mainnet or a blockchain. Like, literally, it just was a token. Like, you were just buying a token sale. Like, now you actually have developers building applications. You have investors locking up ETH into DeFi projects. Like, real money is going behind these projects. Real developers. I'm talking about people who've been in this space. Like, I was working with a guy from Blockstream, and we were just talking about, just development stuff and things that he's working on. And he was like, yo, like, the Lightning Network, like, what's happening on ETH, the development on ETH is like 10 times ahead of what's happening with the whole Lightning Network. And it's just like, so many people are excited because there's just so many opportunities. Like, literally, like, a guy just programmed his own blockchain, his own exchange, and has like $30 million of volume happening on the exchange. And he literally just learned how to code a year and a half ago. Like, it's amazing, just the amount of opportunity and so much low hanging fruit. And this is why I keep trying to say to you guys, like, get involved. It's so much going on. I promise you, there's 5,000 different cryptocurrencies. Find one that you like. Find a project that you like. Find a protocol that you like, whether it's EOS, whether it's NIM, whether it's Tron, whatever protocol you like, Tezos, find it and start studying it and start trying to work on mastering, trying to develop a project or something on it. I promise you, there's so many companies looking to hire people who have these basic skill sets. And they'll even pay. Some people will train you. Seriously, they will train you. If you have like some basic programming knowledge, they will pay you to bring you into the company. So it's an exciting space, man. It's just exciting. You use the term 4D chess move in one of your videos, old school term. Absolutely. Um, I would say 5D chess. I'm telling you, man, when you see companies like backed, like these different exchanges and the people behind it, I'm telling you, man, there's big money in crypto, and these people they're eyeing it. Look at right now, you have the Fed talking about a Fed coin, a stable coin, right? Like the problem was getting the Remember when they were talking about the stimulus check, and they were trying to get the stimulus check into people's hands? Because remember, deflation is problematic for central banks, right? Our entire economy is based upon 2 to 3% inflation every year. The problem is that we have the boomers who are retiring, who are coming out of the economy, right? And they're going to be sucking that money out of the stock market. That's deflationary, right? People are living longer. That's deflationary. When you think about technology, like the fact that you don't have to, when you look at how a car is made, you don't need 50 people on an assembly line putting together a car. There's robots who do that. Well, those are less jobs that are going to exist. Then think about the jobs that are being shipped overseas. So we have all of these deflationary pressures. So the Fed is trying to keep inflation up. The Fed wants to create inflation. They want to debase your money. So Ben Bernanke already spoke about helicopter money. So what they want to do now is create their own Fed coin. And this way now, they don't have to worry about mailing the money and a debit card. They can just, hey, give everybody $1,000 right to their wallet. So we already see the Fed talking about a stable coin. They were trying to launch it inside of the CARES Act. It's going to come. So we know that these banks are involved. We know that the governments are involved in crypto. They're already wargaming on how to break Bitcoin. There was an article that came out the other day about that. I'm going to do a video on that probably later on today. I just wanted to get this stuff out here about the course. So understand, they want inflation, and they need to create, in order for the system to keep going, they need to create more inflation. The problem is that the type of inflation that they create, it doesn't get into everyday people's hands. Most of the inflation goes into assets, which is why we see asset bubbles like the stock market, like the real estate market. What they want to do now is they want to get that inflation into people's hands. And that's when the hyperinflation is going to start. I believe that that's when we're going to start to see the hyperinflation. When they can figure out a way, like an AOC or like an Andrew Yang, like people who want to do like a UBI, but they're not going to stop at UBI. They're going to want free housing for everyone. They're going to want free healthcare for everyone, free education for everyone, right? Free housing for, like, literally free everything. But we know it's not free. So that's when we're going to see, we're already seeing food prices rise at home. So we're seeing all of these different inflationary pressures pop up. So why am I saying this? When you hear them talking about a stable coin, a Fed coin, that means that they've been working on this for 5 years now. Like, they're just telling you now. When you hear JP Morgan saying that, okay, they're involved in crypto, but, just 3 years ago, Jamie Dimon said it was a scam, they've been in it. And you're going to see that trend. That just tells you stay in it. And I don't care if crypto goes down 20%. I told you, if Bitcoin drops to 3K, I'm starting the OnlyFans. I told you guys, Bitcoin drops to $3,000 again. I'm starting me an OnlyFans, and I'm buying as much Bitcoin as I can. I believe that we're going to get UBI. They're already talking about another stimulus round, raise room. Thank you for the donation. I see some other donations coming in. Let me just thank you, Black Rogue and Courtney Gibson. I believe that we're going to get a UBI. Canada's already experimenting with it. I told you before, the deflationary pressures are serious, right? Like we have an aging old population. And the only way that we can keep this debt-based fractional reserve banking system going is creating more inflation. So when you see this happening, trust me when I tell you, they're going to do a UBI. Now, how much? I don't know. Now, that depends on two things. Number one, it depends on if a Democrat comes into office. And I believe that Trump is going to lose. I believe that all of this social unrest and what's happening with the whole pandemic and stuff, they're going to use this to try to get Joe Biden in, because Joe Biden can't beat Trump. Like head to head, if Joe Biden and Trump go head to head, Joe Biden cannot beat Trump. He has dementia. He's losing his mind. There's no way that he can beat Trump head to head. But if you can create enough social unrest, if you can basically, mobilize people to vote who didn't vote in the last election, I believe Trump is going to lose. And if we get a liberal in office, we can see UBI in the next year or two. If Trump wins, I don't see UBI happening under Donald Trump. Because Republicans, they're more pro-business, right? They're big government. Like, don't get it twisted. There's no difference between a Republican and a Democrat. The only difference is how they spend money, right? Both parties are going to spend money. It's just a matter of one party's going to give tax cuts to the rich and the wealthy and print money for big businesses, and the other party is going to do a whole bunch of pet projects, right? But they're both going to spend money. It's just how they spend it. And I don't see a Republican backing UBI. I just don't. A Republican administration or president doing that. So if Joe Biden gets in office, I can see it happening next year. If Trump stays in, I don't see it happening until after a Trump presidency. So that's how I see that happening and see that playing out. But again, we need a UBI. Let me not say that. Let me fix my statement. Let me rephrase that. It's not that we need a UBI. It's that in order for this fractional reserve lending system to keep going, this whole fiat debt-based monetary system to keep going, you need a UBI. You need inflation. You need consumers. You need consumers to keep buying a new car or buying a new iPhone every year. You need that for this type of system to keep going. For a new system, if a new system ever emerges, you don't really need that. But I think in order for the system to keep going, that's what you need. And the Fed's already told you, like, we're going to do whatever it takes. Why do you think the stock market's rallying like it is? They're going to do whatever it takes. Right? So they're going to do whatever it takes, like literally, to keep the system going. Lara Lux, that's a great question. That's how you know the system is broken. Out of all of the smart, intelligent people that we have that could possibly be involved in politics, we have Joe Biden running. That should tell you all you need to know about the problem with this system. All of the PhDs, the MBAs, all of the young, smart, bright people that's 45 or 50 years old that could be running and that have life experience, CEOs of companies, just so many bright people, attorneys, just literally people from all different backgrounds. The best we can come up with is Joe Biden and Donald Trump. So that's how you know that there's a problem with our system, and it's designed that way. It's designed to keep the incompetent running things, because the real smart people behind the scenes understand that it allows them to keep raping, robbing, and pillaging people as long as you keep the dumb in control. That's just the reality. And the funny thing, Joe Ryan, not only that, when you think about money, and this is why crypto is so important, I don't care how honest you are. If you know that you can cheat and get away with it, over your lifetime, you're going to try to cheat at least one time. And as long as you allow politicians or men and women to control money, eventually they're going to cheat, or they're going to try to consume more than they should. That's just human nature. Greed is a part of human nature. And I don't care how wholesome and nature loving you may be, it's hard not to make the money printer go burr. It's just hard not to. So it's hard to be honest with money. This is why we need money that no one can control. And see, this is why Bitcoin is so powerful. Just the idea that no one entity can control how much of it exists and who should get it and when they should get it. Like literally, it's neutral money. Like when you think about that, like Bitcoin is the first neutral money where no nation controls it, no government controls it, no bank controls it. We, the people who participate in that network, we control it. And that's really, really important that you understand that. When you get that, when you understand neutral money and why that's important, where anyone can participate, but no one controls it. Anyone can, as long as you have internet connection, you can participate in the Bitcoin network. That in itself is just like, it's ingenious. It's genius to be able to just like do that. And as long as we can like go back in history, like governments always controlled money. This is the first experiment where the people actually control the money. So that's good. And for those of you asking, again, the link to joining the Academy is right here. It is free. It's a free 7-day trial. Let's put it in here. Give me 1 second. Find the link. And again, like I said before, if you see any spelling errors, any typos or anything like that, please let me know so I can correct it. I literally had to do all of this on my own, and it was a lot. Like I said, I have a great deal of respect for people who create products now, because it was hard as hell to create this product on my own. Hopefully in the future I can get some good help, some people to help me with some other things. Like I said, especially with the development stuff. I'm excited to start that. I have a partner for that. But for those of you who you may be into programming and development in languages, JavaScript, we're going to focus on a little bit of HTML and Solidity. If you know how to program in those languages or use the formatting language HTML, please email me. We can definitely set something up, and I will pay you. I believe in paying people. Like if you do work for me, I will pay you, and I will pay you what you're worth. Boom, 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 boom. So, the only wallet that I use is I either run a full node. Like the only recommendations I will tell you as far as Bitcoin is concerned is running a full node in a hardware wallet. Other than that, I don't trust any of these other wallets. The random number generators that they utilize to generate your seeds, I just don't trust them. I don't trust any of these other wallets. I'm gonna be honest with you, I just don't. I've seen a lot of problems happen, especially with wallets that are in the Android store. So I would be very, very careful with those wallets. I'm a firm believer in not your keys, not your Bitcoin. But crypto.com has a pretty good wallet that allows you to get your seeds. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I've heard some people speak about it. Give me 1 second. So I'll give it to you so you can go do your own due diligence about the wallet. I've heard some really good things about it. This is the, give me 1 second. I'll put it in here. Any wallet that allows you to get your keys, like you can see here. Like you see, they say your keys, your crypto. That's extremely powerful, right? Like anyone that lets you have your keys and own your keys and maintain and control your keys, that's a good wallet. Let me not say that's a good wallet. That's a good start to becoming a good wallet, is being able to control your keys. So I've heard some good things about this wallet. I've personally never used it. And if you live in the States, I don't believe you can get this wallet. I believe that this wallet, or can you use the wallet if you're in the States? I don't know. Look it up. I heard some good things about the wallet though. But me personally, I use this hardware wallet. All my crypto is on this device. or on my other wallet. Where's my other one at? I have three of these all together. And I have the Ledger S as well. This is what I use. So now Robinhood, I didn't know this. I just learned this with Robinhood, that you don't actually own crypto when you buy crypto on Robinhood. I don't know how true this is because I've never used Robinhood, but from what I was told, that you don't actually own your crypto on Robinhood. You own like a derivative, like you own like the underlying price of it, tracks like whatever the price of Bitcoin is, but you don't actually own crypto. Like you can't take the physical Bitcoin off the exchange. With Cash App, you can. And in the course, I walk you through how you can buy your Bitcoin on Cash App and send it to your ledger. I'll show you that right here. I have a video where I show you guys how to do that right here. Right here, I tell you how to buy and sell Bitcoin on Cash App and send it to your hardware wallet. So on Robinhood, I was told that you can't do that. You only can, like, you can buy like a derivative that tracks the price, but with Cash App, you can actually buy Bitcoin on Cash App and send it to your hardware wallet. And I show you how to do that on that video right there in the course. So, and the thing I like about Cash App is that it's quick. It's really, really quick. Like it you don't have to wait like 10 minutes for the next block to be mined. It literally is quick. It's efficient. Yeah, Cash App is very, very quick. So, and then with this, you have Bluetooth, right? So the beautiful thing about the Ledger, the Ledger Nano X, is that you have Bluetooth. So you don't even really need to plug it in. You can literally just, send it straight to the device without having to connect the device to your computer. So, again, me, I've been in crypto long enough that, like, once you find a combination that works for you, like you find an exchange that you like, you find a wallet that you like, stick to what works. You get into trouble when you start adding complexity. Like Andreas talks about this he speaks about this all the time. Excuse me. When you start adding a lot of technical, complex things into your key management, your key storage, how you buy your Bitcoin or your Ethereum, whatever it is, you're adding so much more risk to losing your crypto or getting hacked. Keep it simple. If you don't have the technical ability to utilize a hardware wallet or buy on the DEX, don't do it. Right? Like, just don't do it. Don't overcomplicate things. Keep things simple, because the more complexity that you add, the harder you make it for yourself. Mm. Top 5 altcoins, top 5 cryptos for the next 10 years. Definitely Chainlink. And if I had to pick, let's pull up the list right now. That's a good question, Courtney Gibson. This is the cryptocurrency project I like right here too. Let me show you this one. Aave. This is this is a good crypto that I like as well. I like Loopring. I like Aave. Like right here. So if I had to pick four cryptocurrencies, I'm going for Ethereum. I'm going for Ethereum, VeChain, Chainlink. What would be my fourth one? I like Ethereum, Chainlink, VeChain. What would be my fourth cryptocurrency that I had to pick? My fourth altcoin, right? Because Bitcoin's the OG, right? So we're talking about altcoins now. But let's look at Aave, right? Like, look at Aave. Remember I was telling you guys about like the pumps these coins went on? Like, look at this coin. Like, it went from 2 cents all the way up to 8 cents. These 9 cents. These pumps have been insane in these different crypto projects. That's a good question. I can't think of a fourth one. Let me think. That's a good. I had to pick 4 cryptocurrencies. my outside of Bitcoin. I went and touched Stellar Black Rogue to save my life. Oh, Kyber networks. I like Kyber. What I've been reading about Kyber and studying about Kyber, I like Kyber. But when I own, like I said, I own VeChain, Chainlink. I don't own Chainlink, but Chainlink. So VeChain, Chainlink, Ethereum, and Monero. Monero is my favorite cryptocurrency. Monero is what Bitcoin should be. Like, and that's why I like Richard Hart, because Richard keeps it real. Like, Blockstream has hijacked Bitcoin, and they've basically sold out to the miners, and they're slowing up Bitcoin's development because they just want to collect fees, right? So it's not that Bitcoin can't scale or that they're not trying to scale. Like, they're not trying to scale it. Like, they're basically holding Bitcoin hostage for miners. And that's one thing that Roger talks about. Like, whatever you think about Roger, personally, I don't really like Roger. I'm not a fan of Roger. But when he speaks about like how the miners control so much of the development and hijack Bitcoin, he's right about that. Like, they hold back a lot of the development that can happen on Bitcoin. So when I look at these other cryptocurrencies, I look at the development that's happening. Like, I like Ethereum. Like I said, I like Chainlink, like VeChain. Yeah. And the fourth one, Augur can go in there. Zilliqa can go in there. Aave can go in there. So, but like I said, like Richard, I like how Richard keeps it real about like just like what's happening with different projects and stuff like that. No, Cardano is done. Cardano to me is done. Like, I just like, Charles. I think that everyone's like waiting for something that's never going to happen. I think that Richard's just let me not say he's a scammer, because I don't want to get sued, because I can't prove that he's a scammer. I will say that Richard Hart is a schemer. That's what I will say. I would say that Richard Hart is a schemer, and he's very good at what he does. But he tells some truth, though, So he tells some truth. He tells some truth. I told you already, Joe Hogan. I own a lot of Tezos because I know that people are dumb, and they're going to buy into the marketing behind Tezos, right? So when they hear that Tezos is going to be the next Ethereum, or it's the Ethereum killer. Like so many coins, like Digibyte was supposed to be the Bitcoin killer, and Nano was supposed to be the Bitcoin killer, and they didn't kill anything. But people will buy into it because it's cheap, right? The market cap is low. It's cheaper than Bitcoin. People are going to buy it. Like, that's just people. So I own it just for that sole purpose. Like, I don't really like any of the development and stuff that's happening there. Could care less. I just know it's going to pump because of the people behind it, the marketing behind it, and they're going to market it as it's the Ethereum killer, and it's going to pump just because of that. So once Bitcoin hits all-time highs, right? Because remember, it's just a matter of market caps, right? Tezos has a $2 billion market cap, 1.96 rounded. That's $2 billion. So it's easier for me to double my money in Tezos than it is for me to double my money in Bitcoin. Because in order for me to double my money in Bitcoin, Bitcoin has to basically get to about what? About $350 billion for me to double my money in Bitcoin, right? So which one do you think's easier? For Bitcoin to get to a $350 billion market cap, or for Tezos to get to a $4 billion market cap, right? It's just simple math. So like, if Bitcoin pumps and Ethereum pumps, all of the alts are going to pump, and you're going to make money. Like Ripple. I'm not a fan of Ripple. But if you own Ripple and Bitcoin makes all-time highs, what do you think the price of Ripple is going to do? Ripple's going to pump as well. That's just how markets work, right? Right? So, but now think about it. If you have a lot of money invested, you have to think about liquidity. Which one of these cryptocurrencies you could actually be able to sell $100,000 worth or $200,000 worth and not crash the order book? It's going to be Bitcoin. You do that in any one of these other cryptocurrencies, you try to sell $100,000 worth. Because remember, I have a lot of money invested in crypto. So if I go and I try to hit the order book for $100,000, they're going to see that order, and all of the market makers are going to pull their bids, and the price is going to crash, and I'm going to crash the price, and I'm going to get a bad fill. So a lot of these cryptos, they don't have any liquidity. So that's why I keep a bulk of my money is in Bitcoin, but I have a lot of money in the altcoins because I know that it's going to be easier for me to double my money, right? Like, it's just the reality. Like, if we get back to all-time highs, I'm a millionaire. Straight like that. Like, we get back to all-time highs, I'm laughing to the bank. If we get back to all-time highs. So, if we get Bitcoin at, $25,000, we get Ethereum above $1,500, $1,800, I'm laughing to the bank. But I believe that we're going much higher. So that's why I'm holding. But with the altcoins, they're going to pump more, like Aave. Like, look at this coin. Like, I love this coin. Like just look at this project. Like, look at the market cap. The market cap's $123 million. It's $123 million. It's tiny. Look at Loopring. Right? Like, look at these projects. Like, the market caps are tiny. So if Bitcoin pumps, they're going to pump. Look at it. Market cap's $108 million. It's not that I don't believe in it, Joel Hogan. And please don't take what I'm saying the wrong way, Joel. Like, please don't think what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be, condescending or anything like that. When I first came into crypto, I didn't really understand the technology, right? Like, I understood the concepts, but I didn't understand the tech. Once you actually start coding and developing on top of these blockchains, you will learn very quickly that a lot of the things that they're saying technically cannot be done. It technically cannot be done, right? When you, like, for example, like Bitcoin, remember, Vitalik was trying to build Ethereum on top of Bitcoin. You couldn't do it because Bitcoin is not a Turing complete language. Now, you have a lot of these people like Andreas, and I love Andreas Antonopoulos. I think he's phenomenal as far as educating in the space. The reality is that unless you're going to do a hard fork and completely change Bitcoin, the way Bitcoin is currently constructed, you can't really develop a lot of things and build on top of the Bitcoin protocol. You just can't. Like, it's limited technically. Like the technical abilities that it can do, you can't do it. And like when you hear about these smart contracts and all of these different things that they're saying, when you start playing around with the code and you start building things on your own, you start saying to yourself that what they're promising you in these white papers and what they're promising you in the bubble that you may live in technically cannot be done. It just can't be. So like when I hear the things about Tezos, like, yeah, staking, Ethereum has staking. You have Compound and all these different places where you can stake. Like, I'm talking about the things that are going to be built. Like, you start really realizing quickly, like, blockchains weren't meant to build certain things. Like certain things just weren't meant to go on a blockchain. So like when I see a lot of these promises that these blockchains and these protocols are making, I know that they can't deliver it because, like, I talk to people who are like developers. I've been playing with code and developing for a while now. You just can't build a lot of these things, right? So, all I'm gonna say to you is be very careful as to what these, these quote unquote protocols and blockchains are promising versus what they're going to be able to deliver. Like, even Ethereum, I'm a bull on it. I'm a bull on ETH, but let's keep it real. Like, every 3 months they're supposed to launch ETH 2.0 and they keep having problems. Why? Because there's problems with the code. Like, this is complex stuff. It's not easy just like, oh, we're going to put real estate on a blockchain. It sounds good. How? Right? Like, it sounds very good. We're going to put real estate and mortgages on a blockchain. Okay, how are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? Are people going to feel confident and trust the code that's behind it? Because remember, once you deploy that smart contract, it's out there. It's not like you can go and just edit it. Once it's out there in the world, because we see that happen with ETH all the time. There's code. There's problems with the code. There's bugs. So, a lot of these goals, they sound lofty and they sound good. But the reality is that the code can't really do it, right? It just can't. Alts are set up for an alt season, but BTC has a stable, has to stay stable. 100% agree with you, John Hill. 1,000%, 1,000% agree with you. I know it's one-time fee, but would we have any other expenses to cover? And can we write the course off on our taxes? I I don't know how your corporation is set up, so I can't personally give you any advice on that. You would have to speak to an accountant. Um, the only other expenses that I could think about is like some developer tools, but those tools are not expensive. We're talking about like maybe $10 here for like some type of data and stuff like that. Most of the IDEs, like we're going to use Atom or PyCharm to develop like text editors. Those are free. Um, you can get Truffle for free. Um, NPM is free. Inferior, to get an Inferior node is like free, but they have paid programs. Like so, I mean, yes, like there are some paid subscriptions if you want to go further, but for what we're going to be doing in the course, no, there are no additional fees that I can think of. Like what we're doing in the course, no, because we're really just building projects. If you want to go further and you want to like I said before, I cover this. Like once you purchase the product, I cover all of this inside of the course, like as to what the goal of that product is. Guys, you know, for $1,000, like you're getting some high level stuff, but $1,000 is still not a lot of money. Like let's not kid ourselves here, right? Like if you went to MIT or you went to Harvard, like you're paying 60, 80 grand for a degree in CS and computer science and stuff like that, right? So to pay $1,000 to get access to a lifetime of courses, I mean, you're paying pennies on a dollar. Like it's not a lot of money. So, you know, I know it may sound like a lot of money, but it's not. Um, but for what we're doing, we're really just focusing on putting together a portfolio for you, right? Because when you go on, and I just noticed from speaking with developers, like people who actually work for Facebook, and like I've never worked for Facebook, I've never worked at Google or Amazon, but I know people who have. I consult with them, I talk with them to make sure that my mindset is in the right place. The very first thing they want to know is they want to see like a portfolio of projects that you've built, right? Because remember, being a programmer is not about just knowing the code, it's about knowing how to problem solve. So the first thing that they're going to want to see is, do you have a portfolio of projects and things that you've built? So what we're going to focus on doing is getting you the proper branding, setting you up as far as to like having your own website, basically like a resume. But the resume isn't like a bunch of words on paper. Like, no, I have a functioning website and these are the 10 different projects that I've built. So now when you go to talk to people and speak to people and try to get a job, or you're trying to, you know, solicit funds for people to invest in you, you can say, hey, listen, I've built these 10 different projects. Like this is what I've done. Remember, like coding is about what can you do. Programming is about what can you do. Being a developer is what can you do. So we're going to be focusing on that. But at a certain point, you're going to outgrow the academy. Like you're not going to stay here forever. It's just, this is meant to onboard you. This is not meant to be a one-stop shop. You're going to go on to other products and other places and other people who are way more advanced and much more technical than I am, right? Like there's a difference between going to a community college and going to Oxford or Harvard or Yale or Princeton, right? So look at me as like the community college. Like, you know, you're starting here at the community college. You're getting the basics for a very affordable price. But eventually, like if you want to get to that real cream of the crop stuff, you're going to move on. Because remember, the crypto space is always growing and evolving. So I just want, you know me, guys, I'm transparent. I'm honest. I don't BS you. So the whole purpose of me is to onboard you, teach you the basics, the fundamentals, get you into that pipeline, get you into the community. And then after that, push you on, you know, sort of like being in a bird's nest, for lack of better words. Like my job is to help you grow your wings. Now, how high you fly, how fast you fly, where you fly, that's all going to be up to you once you get your wings. And that's really the whole sole purpose of this. Because as I said before, there's a lot of scams and schemes in crypto. And yes, a lot of the information is for free that you can find for free, but you don't really know if you can trust it or not. And if the person has any integrity or honesty behind it. And, you know, you have to be careful with that because, you know, you'll be following someone and you'll say, yo, this guy, he gives great free information. I love his information. It's free. And then he builds that trust with you and he sells you BitConnect. And because you trust him, you buy BitConnect. You know, like that type of stuff's not going to happen here. Yeah, I'm cutting off the lifetime membership at 20 people to Courtney Gibson. So I understand that. Um, I agree with you 100%, John Hill. I think the DeFi sector will lead crypto into a new bull market, especially with people not receiving a dividend in bonds and other traditional assets. Absolutely 100%, John Hill. I agree with you. Uh, um, I agree with you, Joe Hogan. Uh, did you hear about the ETH being held hostage? What do you exactly do you mean, Red Pill Finance, when you say ETH being held hostage? Are you talking about how the person spent like I think like they pay like 80 ETH in a transaction fee or something like that, or like 800 ETH, something like that? I was reading. Brandon Hicks, my thoughts on the dark web. I was going to teach a course on Tor on how to utilize the Tor network and the Tor browser, but my attorney advised me not to do that. So I'll direct you into getting into the dark web. For those of you who don't know what the dark web is, it's basically there's websites that don't show up in Google that are indexed, but they exist. But they only exist if you have certain browsers to be able to go in certain settings on your browser. And the Tor browser allows you to do that. The problem is that, remember, guys, I would be held liable um if I teach you certain things and then you go and use those things, and you use those things for the wrong reasons, I could be held accountable. So that's why I'm not going to be a teaching. I did a whole entire course on Tor and how to use Tor, and then when I sent it over to the attorney, they let me know like that's not smart to do at all. So I have to protect myself legally. So I had to scrap the whole Tor thing. But again, I'll put in the community section, I'll put some resources for those of you who are interested in that idea about Tor and how to use Tor. You can use the dark web and the deep web for some really really nefarious things. That goes back to the whole Silk Road thing when Bitcoin first exploded on the scene. You have to be very careful with that type of stuff, guys. If you don't have the technical abilities to properly be able to use the dark web, don't mess with it. So you get a lot of malware, a lot of bots. People can spy on you. You have to be very, very careful when browsing sites on the dark web. So that's why I chose not to put that in an academy. Um, I'm doing a 2 hour stream today, Courtney Gibson. So I'm at 112 minutes. I'm going to 120. Not necessarily. The way that Tor is designed, Tor is with the Onion router, it's different. So the Brave browser is good for some basic things, but no, it's not the same thing at all. Tor is completely different. Just the way that the technology works. And once you go through the cryptography, excuse me, not to plug myself, but when you go through the cryptography portion of my course, you'll really understand the whole idea about being able to have different keys and the whole purpose of being pseudonymous, and why you have one key to encrypt and another key to decrypt. That's the same way that the encryption scheme works with the Onion router. It's like it's important to be able to use encryption to be able to protect yourself. Various layers of encryption. Um, what book are you currently reading? I'm actually reading a book on JavaScript. The funny thing is that I'm that's the book I'm reading right now because I want to be able to properly teach. So with these different projects that we're going to be working on. So that's what I'm reading right now. I'm reading a book on Java. I've been consumed for the past, I would say, month and a half with this course. Not with this course, with the academy. I've been so consumed, like literally, my brain has only been focused on that. So you can go get a spot now, Courtney Gibson. The course is live. Courtney Gibson, you can hop off right now and go get a spot in the course. Guys, you can go purchase the course is a lot. The course is alive, up and running. I'm going to change some of this stuff, like the pictures and stuff in the front. I have some typos and stuff that I have to fix, but the course is up. You can go take the course right now. You can hop off this and go take the course. The coding, the whole developer stuff starts at the beginning of next month. We're doing it in 30. We have to first fill the seats. If we fill the seats, then we start doing the teaching, because the way that we're going to be teaching, like, we're going to have one-on-one sessions. So I have to make sure that I can accommodate everyone. So that's how we're doing it. So we have to fill up the slots. If we don't fill up the slots, you get the $1,000 back. Right? Like, literally, like that. The way we structure it is that it's in the disclaimer. If we get 20 founders, we cut off the course and we start putting together the program to teach you. If we don't get 20 students in the next 30 days, we don't do the course. It's just because it has to be demand, right? Because you have to understand, like, a lot of resources go into, like, developing and stuff like that. Like, you have to make sure that you're accommodating students. And then I need to know the technical capabilities of some of you, because some of you have more tech, like, some of you have more tech experience than others. Some of you have coding experience and some of you don't. So, like, I can't put all of you into the same group. Like, some of you are going to need more help than others. So that's why I'm structuring it this way, where once you sign up, we're going to get on a call. We're going to speak. I'm going to see how much help you would need, how much technical ability do you have and you don't have, and then we go from there. Now, again, like I said, if we don't have 20 students, then it makes no sense of, running a program. Right? So that's, like I said before, I like to do things in a professional manner. I like to do things in an honest, transparent way that you're going to get value. I don't want you just spending $1,000 just to spend $1,000, right? Like, because some people may be desperate. For example, let's say, like, you lost your job. I would be lying to you if I said you're going to take our coding course and you're going to get a job. That would be a lie. Because if you've never programmed a day in your life, you've never touched any technology a day in your life, it's going to be a steep learning curve for you, right? It's just the reality. So I have to structure this in a way where I can be honest and ethical with you and let you know that, I'm going to refund your money back to you if we don't get to the 20 slots, or if the course may not be for you, right? Because, like I said before, like, becoming a developer is not easy. Like, I struggle with certain concepts in developing. Like, I've built a few projects, but, like, developing it's challenging. It's not easy. But I promise you, if you stick at it for about 3 to 6 months, you'll be light years ahead of where you started at before. And if you have a tech background already and you understand some basic concepts, you'll be able to pick it up really quickly. Like, the basic syntax in any language, give me 2 weeks and I can pick up any language, right? Because I have a strong background with Python, right? So, like, if you know one language, like, let's say you know Java or JavaScript or C++, you're going to be able to pick up any other coding language quickly. Now, your style of coding and how efficient you can code, that's where the skill comes in, because coding is an art. Like, all coders are not the same and developers are not the same. Like, some people, their code is very messy and sloppy. And then some people, their code is neat. They know how to, style everything. They put comments in every section. They know how to do the classes right, their variables right, and then some people are just messy and sloppy. Their code is horrible. Like, if you had to follow behind them, you wouldn't understand what the hell they're doing, right? So all coders are not created equal. That's just the reality. So again, it all depends on your technical abilities, and that's why I said that's why we're designing it the way that we are. And I want to also give myself as an instructor room to improve and grow as well. So if there's something I need to tweak on my end, I can tweak it as well. Uh, Thank you. Make a change. Yeah, I did the correct. I did the entire academy myself. The entire like literally, like I said before. Next week we're gonna launch part two of the Bitcoin course. Then I believe I have a whole schedule. I don't have it in front of me right now. Then the next course we're going to launch is going to be Ethereum 101. We're doing it in a stair step fashion. Then we're going to get into privacy coins because, as I said before, many of you are new. So I have to make sure that I'm giving you information in a stair step fashion that you can process and use. If I start trying to teach you Solidity, but I don't teach you JavaScript first, then you're not going to understand, right? Like, because like I'm literally skipping over steps. If I start talking to you about the Ethereum virtual machine, but I don't talk to you about Bitcoin and why the Ethereum virtual machine is important, then you're not going to understand, right? If I can't explain to you the technical problems with the Bitcoin programming language, then you're not going to understand why Solidity is important and why the ERC20 token is important and to have uniformity in an entire ecosystem. So you have to go through certain steps to get there. And what I've noticed with a lot of these other academies, because I've joined all of the different academies just to kind of compare and see different things that exist. There's so much content you don't know where to start. Like for example, I've brought this up before, and I'll show you. Like you become overwhelmed because you get in there and you're like, where the hell do I start? So let's go to, for example, like Andreas. He is way more knowledgeable than I ever could be in crypto, right? Way more knowledgeable than me. When you get here, where the hell do you start? Right? Like if you say, you know what, I'm new to crypto and I want to learn about what is a blockchain, what is Bitcoin, where do you start? Which video do you click on? Where do you go? Do you start here, Ethereum Q&A, delegated proof of stake? Do you start with hash functions and mining addresses? Do you start with accepting Bitcoin in my address? Like, he's way more knowledgeable than me. He's an OG. He has, an IT background, right? Like, he's all about, data security. But where do you start? Like, if you wanted to learn, there's no stair-step fashion. Do you start with his book? Do you start with the Ethereum book? Like, where do you go? So being able to join an academy and a community where you can go in a stair-step fashion and you can learn at your own pace, but you can learn the fundamentals and foundations is extremely important. Again, this is free. I'm not hiding anything from you. This is free. You can go here. But where do you start? And this is the problem with free information. The same thing with a blog. There's free blogs. You can go to Block Geeks. They talk about hash functions, public key cryptography, digital signatures, SHA-256, ECC. They talk about elliptical curves and all that. The question is, where do you start? So I feel like I give it to you in a way where you'll be able to understand the basics, and then we'll be able to work our way up. And like I said, every 2 to 3 weeks, add new content and be able to take you and progress you where you need to go. And then at a certain point, you can go on and you go to more advanced things, right? So like that's the biggest, and that's the problem I had when I first came to crypto, and I used to go to the Bitcoin Talk forum. There was so much information there. Smart people, you had all of these smart, cypherpunks there. Like these people are way smarter than me, right? These people have been in cryptography for decades. But like, it's a forum. There's 5,000 different posts. Where the hell do I go as a newbie? Where do I start? Like, should I trust this guy? Should I not trust this guy? Is he trying to sell me some altcoin that he's trying to pump his bags? Like, he's telling me to put my private key into this, capture page, and then come to find out he's stealing my private keys, but I'm a newbie. I don't know. Like, it's just, it becomes a lot. So like I said before, but I'm transparent. I'll tell you guys what it is. Yes, there are two different programs. There's the $50 per month. That's going to give you access to all introductory level courses. Every course that has introduction or 101, any course that will be uploaded into the academy, you will have access to that. So, with the silver membership for $50 per month, there's going to be an Ethereum course. There's going to be a privacy coin course on Dash and Monero. And we're also going to speak about some introductory level programming and coding. For the $1,000 membership, that gives you lifetime access to the academy. Lifetime access. We're limiting that to 20 members. You will be a founding member. Not only do you not have to pay the $50 per month ever, you never have to pay $50 per month. So that means 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, as long as My Tech Academy lives, you never have to pay for any other course ever, and there will be no monthly fee. We are limiting that to 20 students. So as long as My Tech Academy exists, you'll never have to pay another dime. Why are we doing it this way? Because number one, we need to see, is there demand for this product and service? Let's say only 10 of you sign up. It doesn't make sense to continue it, right? Because that's telling me that there's no real demand for that. Because you have to understand, I have to script the content, I have to record the content, right? And then I have to have the resources for you. All that takes time. Like when you go and watch these videos, just with the Bitcoin course, you're going to see that I put work into those videos. Like I'm not just, sitting here just drawing on my iPad, circles and squares. Like I'm not doing that. Like I'm not just I'm sourcing information. I'm showing you how a hash function actually works and what goes into a hash function. Like there's work that goes into that. So think about it. Like if it took me weeks to put together the Bitcoin course and the Ethereum course, it's going to take me well over a month to put together the coding stuff that we need, because now we're talking about you trying to get a professional, job, and you trying to build your own dApp, your own decentralized application and stuff like that. Like that stuff takes time. So we need to see if there's demand for that. Because I don't, listen, guys, I don't want to put in all of that work if you guys don't care about that, right? Like I'll just work on building my own, because I'm focusing on trying to build my own thing anyway. But there needs to be demand for that. So if 10 of you sign up, that's not enough. I'm just going to give you back your money. It's the reality. So it's in a disclaimer, and you can do a refund. Like, and that's why I laugh. Like when people say like, oh, like you're scamming people. First of all, there's a 7-day free trial, right? So you can go in there literally and you can take the course in 7 days and just cancel your membership and get the course for free. Same thing with the $1,000 one-time fee. Like if I don't honor my deal, you can just do a refund and get your money back. I'm going to manually give it back to you anyway if you don't get 20, but like I couldn't scam you if I wanted to. So, I don't get down like that. So, I don't know who signed. Like guys, I haven't checked the back office yet. I haven't seen anything yet to see what's going on. I literally launched the course when I started the live stream. So I have a video explaining this. Don't worry if you have any questions. I'm very transparent, open, and honest, and we'll discuss this as it goes. So like I said, we'll go from there. So guys, it's 5:01. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to end the stream here. Please go back, watch the video. My Tech Academy is available. There's a free 7-day trial. After 7 days, it will be $50 per month. We do have a founding member price for 20 students. It'd be $1,000 one-time fee. You'll never have to pay for any other product that we launch in there. You'll be a founding member. So I hope I've answered your questions. Thank you for signing up, Courtney Gibson. Get into the community section, and then we can start, dialoguing and talking with each other inside of the academy. Thank you for everyone who signed up. Thank you for those of you who donated. And I may do another live stream tonight. It depends on what's happening in the academy. So I'm gonna go here and check everything. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like this video, share this video, and I will see you guys on the next live stream.